Hi there everyone, it's Julie with Photofabpaperflowers and welcome to our live tutorial here on Facebook, and it will be saved onto my YouTube channel for replay. So we'll get started very shortly, so just hang in there and till we let a few people join. Welcome in everyone. Hi there. Hello, fabulous friends. Oh, nice, Maria. It is horrible, rainy here, humid. Gross. All day. Hi there, everyone. Welcome. Hey, Vanessa. Hi, Christy. Hi, friends. Happy Tuesday. Hello, everyone. Oops, almost tripped over my wires. Oh, goodness. How are you? We're a little crooked, but hopefully my connection stays. It's been pouring rain on and off all day. I know a lot of you here on the East Coast have the storm coming through, and it did come through other parts of the United States. So hopefully my connection's good. Hey, Jeanette. Girl, I saw what your temperatures were going to be in Texas. Holy smokies, you are sizzling down there. 102. I saw it was going almost like 107. That's too early. Hey, Nathan. We're so excited to have all of you here, so welcome in. So Friday, we're going to do our large 29-inch patriotic flower. I didn't have enough time to cut everything. I have my sample one hanging up at work, getting lots of compliments. So I'm super excited to do that tutorial with you on Friday. That way I have more time. I'm not in a rush after work. So thank you again for joining. We are making the Double Fringed Tulip. So when I released my template, I did say I needed to try the Double Fringed. So when you purchase the Tulip Mini Flower Bundle, you get a beautiful instruction document that looks like this. I go through how you set it up, your project in your machine's design space. Now the Cricut app I noticed just changed on my iPhone today. I hadn't been in it since the weekend. So there must have been an update. So it may look a little bit different again, but I show you how I set up my projects in Cricut Design Space. I go through then and show you the files and how to name them in your project, which I always keep the master files at the top. I insert a line, and then this is what I release the template with, and then I'll insert another line and put the date that we make another flower. So I have another line now, and with the Double Fringed Tulip, I have it labeled and today's date. Always look at the top. Open up your PDF instruction document. Here's the link to the YouTube video. You can also click watch the video as well. I do it in both places. It walks you through how to make the tulip that we made a couple of weeks ago, step by step with photos. I try and document it as I create it for you. So you can see lots of pretty colors and instructions, and then it comes with the step-by-step to make the fringe tulip. So we're following this pretty closely tonight. We are changing the sizes, but a lot of it is the same, okay? So for our double fringe tulip, we're going to use our fringe tulip petal, fancy. We're going to cut 9 of them at 2.99 inches wide by 3.75 inches high. So this is not in your instruction document when you purchase it. I will type it up and it'll post it in the 2025 tutorials. I will add it then to the instruction document for people who purchase it down the line. The pistil, you need 2 of them at 1.12 inches wide by 1.2 high. And then the stamen, the black ones, you need 2 of them at 1.6 inches wide and height. For our sepal, you need 2 of them this time at 1.5 inches wide and high. And then your leaves, you're going to cut 4 of them at 1.58 inches wide by 9. So you may have to unlock the sizes and type in the width and the height. I was trying to figure out which one I used. I think I used leaf 2. Yeah, you better not put it out there in that heat. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. It's only, what, where are we, May? For our tools and supplies, again, basically it's all the same as our traditional tulip. So you need the tulip mini flower bundle, 65-pound cardstock. I am using the white, buttercream, and mint, all from Printworks DIY. I did add them to my Amazon storefront. They did give me a whole bunch of great paper and I have loved working with it. You do need to cut it on light cardstock or light cardstock plus. It worked on both of them. Now my white and actually green, I was having a little trouble cutting everything tonight just because it's so humid here in my craft room. It's 65% humidity in here. It's crazy. We need, well, yeah, your favorite cutting machine. So your glue gun. I like to use my Surebonder mini glue gun and Gorilla glue sticks. I prefer to use the 8-inch. That way I don't have to keep changing it. Dowel rods is basically for shaping our leaves. Oh, here comes my dad. 1 second. Every time we're live. Every time. Hi, Pat. Welcome in. 1 second, everyone. And now the humidity's worse in here. One second. Ooh, perfect. Well, first of all, Nathan, it's super hot in Texas, and you had your second step of your dental implant today. Ooh, well, good luck. Hopefully it wasn't too painful. All right, we need our embossing stylus. I like to get mine at Dollar Tree. Our piercing scoring tool comes in a pack of 2. We're using the thicker end, again from Dollar Tree. We need our bone folder. 18 gauge floral stem wire. I'm just looking for mine. So we are using the longer pieces. Some floral tape. Try and match your green as best as possible. Now we will be inking our leaves. Some needle nose pliers. I am using my wire cutters. We do need a black marker. I use Sharpies. And we also need our metal boss stylus. Yes. And what else? I think that's it. And our optional distress ink if you want to ink like I did. Okay? They say hello. Dad, why are you turning my fan off?
So I get through. Hello. Hi, everybody.
Tina held you down. Oh my God, Nathan. Well, you could have just moved the thing over.
Nobody dropped it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
I got your tree line branch trimmed.
Oh, did you see me on video having to duck this morning? So I wouldn't get wet? All right, friends, we're going to go ahead and get started. Dad's done interrupting. He did say hello if you couldn't hear him. So for our leaves and our sepal, so you can see I did ink mine. So we are going, now this time in my traditional tulip and the traditional fringe tulip, I didn't do a double layer. However, this time I am going to. And then you have a little bit more flexibility in shaping your petals. So we're going to start with a little bit of crushed olive. And we're going to brush it on over top. Oh my goodness. And I did add a little bit while it was on the mat. And we'll do our sepal first. Then I'm going to bring in my flower shaping mat, which is your 1/4 inch soft foam mat. I think I forgot to go over that. Okay. Or no, maybe I did. We're going to use our embossing stylus, and we're going to add some veining. I did do a line down the center, and then I did my V shape. I know it's super hard to see because it's little, but your line down the center, and then come down at an angle, so it creates a V shape on either side of your leaf. So if your leaf's like that, we do the line down the center, and then I do lines, and it forms a V shape. You can just call him Pop. That's what we all call him. He cut the tree branches because this morning there's drooping from all the rain we've been having, and it was pouring rain when I left for work. Had my hood up and my head was hit. They were drooping really low on our walkway. He takes good care of me. We're going to add some walnut stain. I like to go over mine. I do the 3 colors for this paper. Crushed olive is super fun. And I add a little bit of brown on both sides. Just again, it highlights the veining. And then I always like to come in with a little bit of seedless preserves. Think of it like your succulents. You can do a little or a lot, or you don't have to ink it all. Completely up to you, depending on your project. Or like me, I just keep making them and I try and style them similar so I can use them in a future project. So there, we have both. Okay. Now for our leaves, before we ink, we're going to glue them together, and so that they're bendable or moldable, we have 2 of the same. We cut 4 of them, so 2 per leaf. We're going to use our craft glue, so I'm using Bearly Arts craft glue. Now again, all my this has been sitting here for a while, so it started to dry. So we're just going to try and use this up. All my nozzles are clogged. I'm a terrible at keeping them not clogged. So we're just going to use that as it dries super fast. I have to add a little bit more. We're going to lay our wire right down the center. I go almost about 3/4 of the way up. I literally just need a little bit. And that was way too much. We need to go over our wire. So I'm just going to add a little bit on the paper again. Okay. And then you place it directly on top. And And then we're going to bring our Cricut brayer roller, optional, and make sure it's adhered. I'm going to cut some off, so this is where your wire cutters come into play. And we put that in our cup of wires, so that way we can use all those extra pieces. Now I'm going to, I have a piece of scratch paper. We're going to add some crushed olive. So I go down the center first, and then I'll go around the sides. I don't fill it in completely because I do want to see some of the background. And this will be covered, most of it. So we're going to go down the edges to highlight the shape of our petal. You're going to flip it over. Again, go down the center. Go down either side. And then we're going to go along the edges. So very similar. The only difference so far is that I cut 2 of them to glue them together so we can bend them a lot more. Okay. Bring our mat back, and now with the larger end of our embossing stylus. You know, I am Nathan. So Nathan says you're very artistic with all these sponges, glue, and brayers. Oh my. Trace down either side of your floral stem wire to really highlight that shape. And now we're going to do that exact same technique. So I draw my lines, and because we inked, you will see them. If you don't want to see those lines on this first step, you can do your veining before you add your ink. Now I do go over it with a larger metal ball stylus, so we're just going to color back and forth at the angle of those lines and then come down the opposite side to really shape her. And now we bring back our ink again. Back and forth, right? Walnut stain. I have these all out all the time, most of the time. I'll switch up some colors. We're going to go down the center, and then I just lightly brush over the embossing, the veining, and then again highlight the tips of the leaf. Go on the opposite side and do the exact same thing. Brush it on. Make sure you get some of the sides. It doesn't need to be even. And lastly, we do a little bit of purple. Seedless preserves, one of my favorites. Now, if you don't want to use purple, you certainly don't have to. I'm just giving you some suggestions. All right, now we're going to squeeze our stem of our leaf together. Pull to activate your glue with your floral tape. I'm starting down a little bit below the stem. We're going to wrap it a few times, and then you're going to come down at an angle. So thank you all for joining, whether live or in replay. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Currently it is May 13th, 2025 here in Pennsylvania, East Coast time. And now we're going to add a little bit of walnut stain to, because our green tape is a little too bright. We want it to match. So I just brush on a little bit of walnut stain. Make sure you get the sides. And then you can shape it, or we can shape it afterwards. I pinch the tips usually. And she is super gorgeous. So now we have our leaves, our sepal. So let's bring in our pistils. So we have 2 of them. So just like we did with our fringe tulip, You can use the ultra fine, you can use either or, the fine. Ooh, I like to use black. We're going to color the center. And then we're going to do a line across each little stem. Okay, flip it over. And then we're going to do our lines on the opposite side. And you can see it bled through, so then I can see where they're at. You don't have to do the center on the opposite side. Then to tone down the Sharpie, I'm going to add a little bit of walnut stain. Again, it highlights our shape of our petal. I'm going to do it on both sides. Once you start inking, it's hard to stop. Bring your flower shaping mat back, and now we're going to use the larger end of our embossing stylus. You're just going to, in a circular motion, shape that very tip. Make sure the black center is facing up. I know Maria is a pro at some tulips. They were gorgeous, my friend. So after you do that, you can see they have a shape to them. Just lift each one up, fold them up. And we have 2 of those, so I already prepared one. And now for the stamen, again, we have 2 of them, so all we need to do is roll in a circular motion each tip. Okay, now for this one, we're going to pierce a hole in the center with our piercing scoring tool. And then we're going to fold these up. Okay. And we're going to bring back our pistils and our stamen. So we did double these. It's a double fringed tulip, so why not? We're going to take a piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire. Now, we're going to add our flower, and then I kind of measured the length of my leaf, and I added just a little bit more. So I don't have to cut off a lot. I will have to move the camera out a little bit so I don't poke you in the eye. All right, so we're gonna get our needle nose pliers. We're gonna try and bend this. You know, when I'm live, I don't bend it very well. So we're going to place it in between our needle nose pliers, bend it around like a shepherd's hook. Ooh, there we go. Try and make it as small as possible. So now you have the hook. We're going to close that, place it back in between your needle nose pliers and squeeze her shut. Straighten it out. Place it back in your needle nose pliers and bend it 90 degrees. All right, so for the stamen that we pierced the hole in, we're going to thread that onto our floral stem wire. Again, so far this is exactly the same. On the underside of our wire loop, you add a dot of hot glue. I'm like, did I turn my glue gun on? We're going to thread all the way through and make sure that catches. I'm going to give it a moment. Now we are gluing this one on top, but I still did color it a little, just so no shininess shows through. You could use a black wire if you wanted to. Okay, now, since that one's open a little bit, we're going to take the one that's really folded up. We're going to add a dot of glue on the underside. we're going to look at one of those petals and place it in between the petals here. Trying to get it directly in the center. Fold them up and around. We're going to add a dot of glue on the underside. I did add black on both sides of that one. And then glue it into the center. Okay. Fold it up. We're going to add a little bit of glue here. Hopefully it's not too close. Place it in the center. I'm going to try not to move it too much so it dries. You can press down with your embossing stylus to make sure it attaches. Bend and curl. What was it in the Reese Witherspoon movie? Bend and snap. All right, now you have your center all ready to go. Now for our leaves, or our fringe petals, very similar. This time I used white paper, again from Printworks. I chose to add just a little bit of antique linen because I did use that on our crinkled white peony, so I thought it would be pretty with that arrangement. So I just went in a circular motion. Blend it out a little bit on both sides. Then I just went down either side and then came down the opposite side just to highlight the shape. And I did that on both sides. And then I did brush a little bit. Now on my other flower I did add a little bit of brown. I'm going to try this one without it. And I did that to all 9 petals. Okay. Now, just like we do with the regular tulip, so again, I used antique linen with the white. You can look up the colors of the French tulip. I did see a white with like a creamy center. So lots of different combinations again, depending on your project. So we are going to use our black soot and our forest moss. Actually, I needed 2 of these. So for this one, I'm going to add black on the interior on 2, and then on the exterior, it'll be green for the layers 8 and 9. So this will be layers 1 and 2. Again, how much inking you do is completely up to you. So add a little bit of black soot. I probably have a lot on here already. You're going to circular motion and then just blend out a little bit. So it turns out to be a gray color actually, because of the 2 colors I used. Circular motion and just blend out a bit. Not too high. This is the interior of the flower. Because remember, we have the black stamens in the center. And then for our outer 2, we're adding a little bit of forest moss. Circular motion. Oh, I did brown. Oh gosh, Julie. Here's my green. Oh boy. And blend out. Watch your finger dabbers, friend. Now I did ink this, or I styled it. So we're just gonna add our green and brush out. is so humid. Oh my gosh. Humidity went up. Alright, so now to shape all the petals, we're going to bring in our flower shaping mat. So our very center is the two that are black. We're going to use the wider diameter metal ball stylus, and you're just going to roll back and forth. Now because I inked, I do rub it on my mat. And it's going to shape them, lift them up. Okay, roll back and forth. Again, the black should be on the interior. So back and forth all the way across the petal, and then I just do a quick circular motion and lift it up. Okay, so that's your inside, interior. Back and forth, and then one circular motion to lift it up. Why does it go dark on one side? Back and forth, and then circular motion. Avocado 11 finger. Yes, Jeanette. So no longer do I have Cheeto. Well, I have a little bit of Cheeto fingers. Back and forth, circular motion. All right, those are our very center. Now, the green's going to be on the exterior, so I already did these. So I'm just going to redo that. So these are our very last petals on the outside. Okay, back and forth, circular motion, and lift it. Stretch before you do this one. Back and forth, circular motion, and roll it towards the center. So these are our very last two. This is our beginning and middle. Alright, I'm going to zoom out a little bit again. We're going to take our bone folder. These are our very center. I'm not going to curl those. All the other ones. And you can see if it didn't cut exactly, I didn't worry about it. It's a fringed flower. Holding it at right below the fringe, just curl them back a little. I'm going to roll the center, and we're going to pierce our hole in the very center. Let's do our green ones that have the green on the exterior. So just hold it below, right below the fringe, and curl it backwards. They can go every which way, it doesn't matter. She's a super fun flower. We just need to make sure our order, the green, is on the exterior. And those are layers 8 and 9. So again, the colors that you ink with are completely up to you, or if you don't want to ink at all. Still beautiful. Okay, so let's poke the hole or pierce the hole in the center. Roll the center if we didn't. and then curl those petals back. And I just pulled off some fringe, and that's okay. All right, pierce your hole in the center. Roll the center if you haven't done so. And again, curl those petals backwards. So I hope you're having a good week so far. Nathan has some dental, so hopefully your week is better and not painful, or you're enjoying some meds. And we're just going to keep all these middle lit petals right here lined up. Okay, pierce your hole in the center. Roll the center. And just curl them backwards. Okay, poke or pierce the hole in the center of your petal, the fringed tulip petal. Roll it with the metal ball stylus if you haven't done so. Then for each petal, grab it right below the fringe and just pull back. I'll look closely. I have to get my nails done. I normally would have went Saturday, but I had a facial. This girl's about spa time. And we need to pierce our 2 holes here for our very center. Now we're going to assemble our girl. Hey, Linda, I was just thinking of you. I know, they would be good eyelashes. I wish I had them. All right, I'm going to zoom out just because of the wires. It's super tall. We're going to start with the 2 centers that we had added the black soot. Thread it onto your floral stem wire. We're going to add glue to the underside. So hold your glue gun and twirl. Okay. Thread your petal through and make sure it grabs. It's longer than I'm normally using here. That's funny, Nathan. So if you say pierce, we have to scream at like Nathan Lane and the Birdcage. I love that movie. All right, so now we're going to attach them. We're going to keep our center a little bit more closed up. So on the right side, outer right edge, you're going to add a little bit of a line of glue. And we're going to attach. Hold it from the inside. And we're just going to make our way around. Add your line of glue on the right side, outer right of each petal. I'm going to attach them to the petal to the right of it. So on the right side, attach. Add a little bit of glue. Attach that last petal. And we're keeping the center pretty closed up. And there's your center. Now we're going to add our second one where we added black. thread it onto your floral stem wire. On the underside of your petal, hold your glue gun and twirl. Not you twirl, the floral stem. So now we're going to place this in between. So I'm going to look at these two petals and this petal and bring it straight down and make sure it attaches. So they're falling in between the previous layers. And now for layer 2, we're also going to attach the petals to each other, okay? So we're going to do that exact same technique. So on the right side, outer right side, add a line and attach your second petal. It should not be attached to layer 1s in there. So you can see my finger can fit in there. Okay? Add a little bit, a small line, a thin line of glue. Fold it up. Oh my God, I had crumb cake the last 2 days. Add a small line of glue. Can't find my words. We need to get that on the inside there, so we're gonna hold our little glue gun, do a small line of glue, and attach. Oh, you can see my polka dot shirt. So for these, I did keep them more curled in. I really didn't do much to them. Ooh, it's so pretty in this color. All right, now we can start adding our petals. We just did the traditional blended in the center, or I'm sorry, circular motion in the center and blend out, and a little bit around the sides. Thread one onto your floral stem wire. On the underside of your petal that's stemmed, hold your glue gun and twirl the wire. Okay. Again, we're going to, I look for the larger gap, bring up the petal, and place it right in between. I want to make sure it adheres. And now it's going to start to curl out. Okay. Thread layer 4. Hold your glue gun and twirl your floral stem wire. Look for the larger gap. I go to the petal to the right. Thread it through and it goes right in between there. Make sure you press. Thread your next one. Hold your glue gun and twirl. I look for the gap here, thread it through, and that petal goes right in between there. Okay, couple more layers. Layer 6. Again, on the underside, right on the previous layer's petals, hold your glue gun and twirl your floral stem wire. That time I went the opposite direction. I look for the wider gap. I take the petal to the right of the next wider gap and place it right in between. Press right around where you placed your glue. This is a double fringed tulip. Yes, she is like Vegas. Ooh, imagining some gold shimmer to her. Ooh, she'd be shining. She's like a showgirl. Hold your glue gun and twirl. And I look for the larger gap. I take the petal to the right of it, of the one I'm attaching. Bring it straight down in between and press. It's just got personality. Layers 8 and 9 have the green on the outer side. Okay. Here, we look at our gap here when we're attaching it. So hold your glue gun and twirl in the center. Bring the petals down in between and press. My paper is a little wet. It's crazy. Now it's 67% humidity. Okay, add your glue. So hold your glue gun and twirl your floral stem wire. We're going to attach this petal in between the previous layer's petals. It's just stunning, isn't she? Oh, I mean, you can go as big as it'll fit on a paper for one, for sure. I mean, I made them smaller actually than our traditional fringe. I did 3.75 inches high. So, you know, as big as you can cut on a piece of paper, that's how large you can go. So I would just group everything together and drag it all so it's proportionally sized. So if you got a mat, like the 12 by 24, you can go pretty large. Hey Kim, no worries, no worries. So now we have our petal all assembled. So for one sepal, I'm going to keep the petals up. And I'm just going to shape these, just pull them down a little. We did add some veining. It's very subtle. And then this one, the petals are we're going to assemble it under, but I'm going to flip it over and just pull them up again. So you're piercing the hole with one of the petals facing up. And one of them will be down. I should have poked the hole first. And you can flip it over and just roll right where the petals meet the base. Okay, so for the one that we did, we pierced the hole. So when we insert the wire, you can see it does pop out a little, so it makes it easier to thread the direction of the paper, how we pierce the hole. Okay, so for the sepal, I add the glue right onto the sepal, very carefully and quickly. Carefully try and go around the wire, and I go out each petal a little bit. Gorilla Glue dries super fast, so you gotta work fast. Push it all the way up and attach. And that way it attaches to all the petals. Okay. Now for this one, we're going to thread with the petals under. Now you can make your sepals larger if you want to. That's fine. So I'm going to keep it right around the base here. So hold your glue gun and twirl, and keeping it as close to the floral stem wire as possible. Thread these petals in between your previous layer's petals. It's just got so much personality. Now our flower's done. We're going to add a little bit of floral tape and our leaves. So pull to activate your glue. Okay. I start pretty close to the top. I mean, there is a gap. Turn it a few times. And I have to turn my stem with my right hand. And then pull at an angle. So now once we have a nice chunk of wrapped around our stem, we're going to push it all the way up to the top. And we're going to continue to wrap our floral stem wire all the way down. Close to the bottom as possible. Now we're going to add a little bit of coloring to our stem. Again, we want it to match our paper. So I'm just brushing on a little bit of walnut stain to tone down my green floral tape. It's a little too bright for me. Okay. You could stop there if you want. We're going to keep going. Tear off a piece of floral tape. Now you can use your dowel rods to shape. If you want to curl them a little bit, you can bend them back if you want to. Now, tulip leaves do stand pretty tall. So you can figure out your placement. I do bend it back a little bit. Do you want it right up to the edge? I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to leave a little bit of tape. I'm not going to go right to the tape. I'm going to go down a little bit. Wrap it a few times around and then go down at an angle. So again, I twirl the stem with my right hand and pull the tape with my left at an angle. How big are you going with this, Nathan? Beautiful. Now I do add my tape or my ink in between, just to tone it down in case it doesn't cover up when we add our next leaf. That's just me being crazy. That's my OCD. Okay, pull to activate the tape, tear it off. If you want to curl it, you can. You can bend the sides back a little bit. I bend back just a little bit, and I curl them in a lot more. Go to the opposite side. Maybe you want to come down a little, maybe you want to go higher, completely up to you. Okay. Try and keep it the opposite side. This is the hard part. We can move it, wrap it a few times. That's when I have to switch hands, is when I lose my grip sometimes. All right, now I'm just going to go over my tape again. So again, inking completely optional. I would say definitely try it if you haven't. You know, start with just one color. You know, I like ground espresso or walnut stain. We use that a lot. Try that and maybe some seedless preserves. And there you have the Double Fringed Tulip. She is stunningly beautiful. We made peonies with this. We made the traditional tulip. I'm just grabbing my other one. So you can see this one, I added walnut stain to the tips. So she's a lot dirtier. If we dare say that. It's so pretty. See, this is a lot wider. So, again, take your traditional tulip that we made with her. We did the traditional fringed tulip. And now we did the double fringed tulip. And my peony, oh God, is on my side. So we made the peonies with this template as well. So lots of different flowers we just made with the tulip mini flower bundle. Okay. Trying to show it from the top. But again, tulip, fringed tulip, double fringed tulip. All gorgeous. Look at them from the side. Oh my goodness. So whatever color you make, it'll be gorgeous. It'll be fun. Oh God, you can add some sparkle, whatever you want to do. I can't wait to see. Yeah, definitely for your desktop flower stand. Right now, all right, so hold on. I'm going to zoom out more. Right now, I have a lot of them just thrown into my vase. I was going to take into work. Of all of our different flowers with the different tulips. And then if you wanted to add the cream color in here, we have that as well. Or else, what would be, so you can see they're all in this. I kept my colors all the same. Now, my vase is a little bit small. I would have to arrange this better, but with the crinkled white peony, it would be super pretty as well. So again, think of the different shapes that you're adding them together. So it depends, you know, what you're looking to do with them, but I hope you enjoyed our tutorial. Do you like seeing the items stemmed or the options of both? I know, they're so fun. Yeah, this template's fun. Lots of different options. Again, we made peonies, the regular tulip, the fringed tulip, and now the double fringed tulip. So there's lots of different things we can do with them. But thanks so much for joining me tonight. So happy Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. This video is available here on Facebook for 30 days only, and I will work on getting it on to YouTube. Friday, we're going to make a 29-inch large patriotic flower for your decor this summer. I think V's going to be doing some as well, so you can mix them in. We're going to use the large patriotic bundle. So I hope you can join me Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. If anything changes, I know we're having storms come through, so I might have to be flexible with that because you know I hate thunderstorms. So we'll just wait and see what Friday brings us, but I knew it will take a little bit of time to cut everything. It is 5 layers. But the centers take a little bit of time. We're using the Paper Flower Center Bundle 2, which is your fringe center or your puffy center. So, all right, friends, I wish you a great rest of your week. Nathan, I hope your recovery from your dental surgery goes well. Everyone, be safe, be healthy, have a little bit of fun, and be creative. Thanks for joining. Bye.